Hello YouTube, Kermit here from Orange Pickle 2 channel. We're going to have another little video, and this one is going to be about a little Dell Latitude. Let me make sure I have the right name here. CPX. This Dell Latitude has been around for a while, I guess. It's actually pretty well made. It actually has speaker hub bulges here on the side here, and speaker bulge over here. It had a headset microphone and external speakers. And it may have even had a built-in Bluetooth, I don't know. Anyway, I guess that's supposed to be for some sort of external speaker. One's for headphones. And it even had a TV input over here. TV input there, and I don't know what this thing does. It seems just to be like something that fills in a blank. And that's an air vent. Over here on the left side we have the hard drive bay, and we have these they call them PC slots. If I can get this thing to come out. And what we have in here is a 3 megahertz cellular 56K cellular modem with a jack connector. And I have another computer, an older one, that uses a 3 product, but that is a 10100 Ethernet or NIC card. Evidently you stick a telephone jack into this little thing here, and it gives you dial-up modem. Let's see if you get this to go back in there properly. Oops. This is a 2 position. Actually there's room for 2 cards in here. If I get them in correctly, it'll be alright. Yes, we did get it in correctly. Now, the back of this computer. This computer literally went through, you could say, hell. And I'll show you why I say that. Because it got put into a storage shed when its owners moved out of town, and I don't know how well you can see it, but it was in a computer bag along with accessories, and everything got rusty. It got really rusty, and this was soaked in water when I first saw it. You have the power supply here. You have some sort of adapter here. I don't know what that does. I haven't dug into it deep enough. It might be a Kingston lock. Power supply here. You have a serial port, a mouse or PS2 keyboard. Thank goodness that works. You have a USB port, which you're supposed to be able to use a USB keyboard with. Sometimes I can get that to work, sometimes I can't. This is a docking station. Here's your parallel port for your printer, and this is your VGA port over here. And there's your fan. Now this has a Pentium, a Pentium 2 processor. And if I was to scrape this Microsoft Windows 98 second edition sticker off of here, which is what the operating system is loaded on this hard drive at this point in time, you will see underneath of that is Windows NT and I'm not too sure which edition, but it seems how this has a, oh well, there it goes, I can see Windows 4 NT 4.0. Wow, that is like 1993, I think they came out with Windows NT, and NT 4 preceded Windows 95, and this had Windows 98 on it. It's kind of incredible. This computer may have been built back around 1993. It's amazing. Actually, Dell made a pretty good product when I think about it, because what this thing has been through, it's absolutely amazing that it still functions. The battery pack came in here, and it has currently a floppy drive which does function, I think. I haven't really been able to get it to read a disk, but I did try to load some drivers on it so I could at one point in time. Now I do have the CD burner this came with. The only problem is the tray will not open up because a little plastic tab somewhere in there is broken off, and I haven't bothered to take it apart and fixing it. Now, when I first saw this thing, I got it dried out, and let me get my thoughts trained in here while hooking up this external keyboard. I have to have an external keyboard hooked up in order for it to function, and I do not really need to have the external monitor hooked up, but I'm doing so just to demonstrate to you that it still works. And the hardest part is to get this new power supply positioned so that it actually allows the unit to power on. I've had a lot of problems with this little laptop. Okay, there she powered up. I'll turn the external monitor on over here. Now this unit, as I said, was in a storage and it has gotten tremendously wet, and it really shouldn't even be working. And you can see back there in the heavy metal sections of this thing that it was get my finger all away from the lens cap so you don't see my fingernails, that it was very rusty. It's very rusty on the inside too. It says it's a Pentium 2 processor. I think we can get this to focus over there. It says Pentium 3 while we're here, and it says Windows 2000 Professional. It also says Windows NT Workstation 4.0. and it also said Windows 98. Well, it's got, like we just saw, it has two different stickers. One was originally NT4. And I wonder why this thing's not up. Oh, it's booting it up over there. Oh, invalid configuration information. Please, time of day is not set. Strike F2 key for configuration. Every once in a while this thing goes crazy on us. And it's reverted back to, now this particular unit does not have, underneath of the keyboard here, the back second panel, some of these actually have a battery, a little Cosmos battery. This particular model does not have one of those, and it does not have a little soldered in place Cosmos battery either. So I'll open up this thing here and start pressing some buttons, and we'll get this thing, the date properly set on this. Stand by a second. This hasn't happened for a while. Okay, I need to get it from my watch said it's about 8:19, 8:20, 20. And I think I gotta hit the left button there. Yeah, I gotta go back all the way through this thing to get it. 20, and then I've got to go 3, I think it is. Okay, been a while since I played with this operating system. 20, and I'll open up the date now by 1, 2. I need July. C-U-L. I won't do that. I gotta go down. I need to go up on that arrow over there. August. July 16th. No, today is the, what, 28th? July 28th. Okay, I gotta kick another button over here. 2-8, and kick another one, and we gotta go up to 2015. Okay. Now it says here that we have a Pentium 3 processor. It also shows that we have system memory is 128 megabytes, and hey, that's a whopping fast processor in here. It's 500 megahertz. That's really screaming, wouldn't you say? Now the interesting thing is, when you go into your system properties on this computer, it actually says that this is a Pentium 2. I don't understand why that is, but anyhow, it does say so. Interesting BIOS in these Dells. I haven't really worked with too many Dells over the few years since I bought my first computer back in 2006, and got me started in my road to down the road of insanity, which I'm at a point which I have reached now. I'm posting videos on YouTube concerning old beat up computers that shouldn't even be working. But at any rate, trying to have some fun with this, and it's interesting that when you hook up an external monitor to them, that it actually boots into the external before it boots into the actual monitor that's on the computer itself. Well, let me see if I can get this to exit. Says press escape. I should have checked the hard drive size on this thing while we were in here. Not a very big one. I think it's 12 gigs. And now we are booting into Windows 98, and it should give us the monitor on this side now. Well, we'll watch this monitor and see what it does. And the color's not too much different from the original monitor compared to this one. Well, this has been a little interesting excursion. Now, what happened with this little unit when the power supply died, I don't know exactly where I'm in on the story on this thing at this point in time, but anyhow, as I had mentioned earlier, when I first saw this little computer, it had been soaked in raining and wet, and at any rate, I dragged it out of the bag, the computer bag that was covered with mold, and there was rust all over this thing. It had run, and it didn't look like it was very favorable for it to actually start up. And I was really surprised that it actually did start up. I had to press the start button about 3-4 times, and I had to jiggle the power supply connector a little bit to get it to make contact. And I did have the battery in the thing at the time, and if the battery's in place, then this light over here lights up, and it lets you know that you have power when you finally jiggle that power connector around in there to the point where it actually makes contact. It's very sensitive, and you don't really want to move the laptop around very much because it will disconnect immediately. And I actually started getting the battery to charge, and I was able to defrag it, and I was able to play with it, and then I decided I'd turn it off. And after I turned it off, the original power supply unit, this is a replacement, died. I mean, it shorted out internally, and it dumped a brick, you know what I mean? And I couldn't get the thing to work. Drove me crazy. And I knew I needed to clean it up, and it was so rusty on the inside that the screws were rusted in place that held the bottom half of this chassis there. And evidently, it also, some of those screws are actually grounds for the keyboard, because you have a ribbon cable which comes into this, and I actually disconnected. I actually had to drill out the screws in order to be able to disassemble this thing. And in the process, the keyboard was functioning prior to my drilling those screws. The mouse was functional. This little joystick thing right here, it was functional. It's no longer functional. There's a little ribbon cable that I had to disconnect in order to be able to get the keyboard out so I could access the rest of it. And for some reason, it just will not make contacts in the right directions with this little plastic clip, which is, we're talking about, if this thing is as old as I think it is, we're looking at this thing being built sometime maybe originally around 1993. I mean, this little computer kind of predates Uh, it could possibly predate 98, according to this sticker here. But if it had the sticker, it was probably built around 98 when I think about it. 1998. So, anyhow, it's not exactly a new laptop, and actually it's pretty advanced for one that's this old. And I guess it's got a IDE. Never really thought about whether it's an IDE or a SCSI hard drive. But anyhow, it does boot into Windows 98. Anyway, getting back on track over here, I'm getting sidetracked again. So I got a new power brick. This is a new one. And after I opened it up, and I had to drill out the screws so I get the unit apart, as I said, this little joystick thing here ceased functioning because the ribbon cable does not make proper contacts, and the keyboard does not function. Only certain keys are working, and they do it intermittently. I mean, you can go across here and you can get about 5 or 6 keys that work, and then you go across here, they don't work, and then you can get to every other key will work, and then if you hit capitalization, it will do whatever the case is. But you know, it will not do a Windows press over here, and it will not do an ALT clear and delete, and I think delete's up here over here someplace. But it does work with the external keyboard, and it was intended to. In fact, if I press the Windows key over here, we get a pop-up, as you can see. And I can select different things by using this and going into different things here and access different programs with the external keyboard. It's designed to use the external keyboard. It's also designed to use an external mouse. Now, sometimes I can get the USB port to actually accept a USB keyboard. It will not accept a USB mouse, but it will accept a USB keyboard, because I actually had a USB and PS2 keyboards attached to this thing at one point in time. And so anyhow, that's seems to be the story with some of these older computers of my that I played with in the past. And it, like I said, I am really surprised that it actually works, because it really shouldn't be functioning, as rusty as it was and as wet as it got. So we are going to shut it down. And it's had a little interesting history. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. And what I'm going to do with this thing, I have no idea. But I've got it at least partially functioning, and that's better than not functioning at all, I guess. So, if you have any comments, please, and they're positive, please leave me a message. And again, you know, I spend most of my time out on the ocean as a merchant sailor, so I will be a long time in answering any comments or questions that you have concerning this video. Hope you enjoyed it. Bye-bye.